All right, let's dive into something we're all seeing right now, the massive promise of AI in web design. And let's be honest, the often kind of disappointing reality. We're going to break down this showdown between artificial intelligence and genuine human creativity.
You've seen the ads, right? Maybe you've even played with the tools. AI is supposed to whip up a beautiful website for you in like 5 minutes, and for way less money. But then you look at what it spits out and you get this feeling. If this technology is so brilliant, why do so many of these websites feel so generic?
And that right there is the heart of the issue. The promise is so good, faster, cheaper, a totally done-for-you solution. But the reality, well, it's often a site that looks like a carbon copy of 100 others. And it leaves you, the business owner, wondering, okay, so where do I even fit in all of this?
To really get to the bottom of this, we've got to pop the hood and see how this thing actually works. Let's demystify this whole sameness problem by figuring out what an AI is really doing when it says it's designing a website for you. Okay, first things first, let's give credit where it's due. AI is absolutely incredible at some things. It's basically a pattern-matching machine on steroids. It can generate layouts in seconds, reuse patterns it knows work, and fill in placeholder text at a speed and scale that no human could ever match. It's built for raw speed.
But here's the other side of that coin. AI has no idea why a certain design works. It just knows it's a popular pattern. It can't understand the context of your specific business or the nuance in your brand's voice. And it certainly can't make tough strategic decisions or apply something like taste. Those, you see, are deeply human skills.
And all of that leads us straight to this idea of sameness. Think about it. AI learns by looking at millions of websites that already exist. So to be safe, it just averages them out. It avoids any kind of risk and just keeps repeating the most common, safest patterns it finds. It's no wonder everything starts to look the same. Now, here's a really important point. Sameness isn't always a bad thing. I mean, we all like knowing the logo is probably in the top left, right? Familiar layouts can be amazing for users. The real problem isn't using a familiar pattern. It's when that sameness is an accident. When it's just a byproduct of the tool, not a smart, intentional choice you made for a very good reason. So if the problem is this lack of intention, then the solution has to be the one thing AI just doesn't have. And that's the human element, that mix of real design thinking, judgment, and yeah, even taste. This brings us to probably the single most important question in this whole conversation. When we get down to it, what is the actual difference between something that an AI just generates versus something that a human truly designs?
And here it is. This is the whole ballgame. A generated site is fast, sure. It's based on patterns, but it's generic and has almost no context. A designed site, on the other hand, is intentional. It's aware of your business goals, it's driven by a clear purpose, and it's constantly evaluated and improved. You see, one makes an output. The other gets you a result.
I love this quote because it just nails it. An AI is a master of data sets. But truly great design, that's not about crunching numbers. It's about empathy. It's about understanding what a real person needs, feels, or wants when they land on your page.
This is where a word like taste comes into play. And I don't mean taste like, oh, I like blue. In a business context, taste is the expert ability to see quality and make smart, intentional choices. AI doesn't have that. It just has probability, the mathematical chance that one pattern is more common than another. That's it.
So, if you remember one thing, let it be this. AI is a tool. A seriously powerful tool, but a tool nonetheless. And tools are amazing at executing decisions. But the real value, the outcome you actually want, that comes from the thinking that happens long before you even click a button.
So given all that, how do we actually use this incredible new tool the right way? Let's talk about a much smarter way to work with AI, instead of just handing over the keys and hoping for the best. It all comes down to a simple human-directed workflow. It's just 3 steps. Step 1, you define the strategy, the goal, the why. Step 2, you let the AI do its thing. Crank out a bunch of different options really fast. And then step 3, you come back in as the expert to evaluate, refine, and make the final call. You're the director. AI is your super fast assistant.
So what does this look like in practice? Well, you can use AI to brainstorm a ton of different layout ideas, get a rough first draft of your website copy, or just speed up the whole back and forth process. It's all about using AI to reduce friction, not to replace your brain.
because the most valuable, high-impact jobs, those are still all yours. You're the one who decides on the direction. You edit that copy until it's perfect. You evaluate if the design is actually achieving your goal. And maybe most importantly, you have the wisdom to look at an option and say, nope, that's not right for us.
And here's the bottom line. At the end of the day, you still own the outcome. Just because you used an AI tool doesn't mean you're not responsible for the result. In fact, it makes your sense of ownership and your personal judgment more critical than ever before.
Okay, let's bring it all home by shifting our perspective a little bit and figuring out the real question we should be asking about AI in our work.
For so long, the whole conversation has been driven by fear, right? Is AI going to take my job? But you know what? That's the wrong question. It's not nearly as interesting or as useful as the real question, which is, who is making the important decisions here? As long as the answer to that question is you're in complete control.
So, here it is, the final takeaway. AI generates websites. It makes an output. But humans, we design experiences. We create a feeling, a journey, a result. And the one thing that separates those two worlds is intent. So the only real question left is, are you using your tools with it?